After dropping Game 2 last night, 113 to 103, our star center voiced his opinions on Instagram, and I quote, "Effing sick and tired of being babied," end quote. Now, you can understand that. JoJo is itching to get in there. He missed the first 2 years with a foot injury, only played 31 games last year after he had a knee injury and had surgery on it. So, you know he wanted to be out there. During pregame, he was working out. It looked like he was going to play possibly, but he was not cleared by doctors to go out there and play, even though he's been fitted with a mask. So it's got to be frustrating. And then you look at it and say, well, with JoJo's being inserted into the starting lineup, would he have made a difference? You don't know. You really can't look at it and say, if JoJo played, we definitely would have beat him. Now, with JoJo in the lineup during the regular season, we still split the series with the Heat 2-2. So we can't just sit there and blame the organization or blame this and point fingers. We just flat out didn't play well. Now, could we have a better chance if Embiid was in there? Quite possibly. But when you shoot 7 for 36, that doesn't really get you where you need to be in winning games. You can't shoot 19% from downtown. But he also went out to say, you know, he promised the city the playoffs, and he's not out there to deliver. He doesn't know if he's going to be even out there on Thursday. You know, to end the quote, in layman's terms, to shorten it a bit. But Brett Brown was not frustrated. Embiid put the organization on blast, and it's basically to see if they're going to deliver, kind of force their hand to make him go out there and play. Now, I think JoJo should be able to play Game 3. He's been out since March 28th, so we've given him plenty of time to heal. He's got a face mask to protect himself. But you also, I can see it from both sides, obviously, too. They want to protect our biggest asset, probably our best asset, of not wanting him to get hurt again, of course. He's been a little unreliable on staying healthy. So I get that part with the organization. But this does force their hand. We did win 17 straight without Embiid. But you live and die by the shot. And it just happened that we didn't shoot good last night. But kudos to Miami for attacking our weakest point. Not having a shot blocker down there, what did they do, which they didn't do in the first game that well? They drove to the basket and got fouls. They got to the line. And what does that do when they're so successful doing that, getting into the paint without there being anybody being able to play defense and block shots? Then it opens up their perimeter. So they can go in, suck the defense in, and then kick out and get some wide open jumpers, which they executed beautifully last night. That's what having JoJo does for us. Not only having them there on the defensive end and forcing the issue for them to be able to turn them into a jump shooting team, which I think would benefit us in the long run, but it opens us up because you kick it down to JoJo, he gets doubled, we get wide open looks. So our offense runs beautifully around JoJo. Now, for some reason, we didn't do it. We did it in the second half, but in the first half, we weren't attacking the basket. We weren't getting to the line. I don't think I'm trying to think what we did at the line last night. Maybe got there 15 times. Not enough. It is a heartbreaking loss, but it's not the end of the world. This is the way you got to look at it, guys. It is disheartening. It sucks the way we lost because we got it so close and you figured the comeback was on. They were playing really well, and we came up short. It was just two crucial things that blew it for us in the end. But that's going to happen with a young team. We haven't been here before, and I think we get caught up, and we got so spoiled with how well this team was playing. Remember what we did in the first half of the season. We were fumbling, we were fouling, we were turning the ball over 20 times a game, blowing huge leads. That's what you expect out of a young team like this. And then we go on this great run, 17-game winning streak. We blow them out in the first game of the playoffs. And then you kind of hit a speed bump. Well, during that 17-game winning streak, we were shooting, I think, over 6 or 7 games, we shot over 43% from downtown. That isn't going to happen all the time. But it just happened that we shot horrific. But that's why you go back, you watch some tape. Brett Brown's going to make adjustments. And then we're going to be able to see if JoJo's going to play on Thursday, which I'm hoping he is. Yeah, we did go on that huge winning streak, but having your best player in a series is always going to be beneficial, whether we went on that win streak or not. It just helps Ben Simmons, and it will help out our perimeter shooting. Because when the shots weren't falling, you've got three guys that are one-trick ponies. J.J. Redick isn't going to put it on the floor and take it to the hole. Neither is Rocco. He did it, twice last night? What I don't get is, if those shots weren't there at three, what is wrong with taking jump shots, Move up and take it too if you're not going to put it on the floor. But that helps the defense out even more when they know what you're going to do, when they know that you're going to pump fake and still stay behind the arc because you want to get that three-point shot. So I'm hoping Brett gets in these guys' heads and says, put the ball on the floor a little bit more and drive the lane. Try to get fouled, because if your shot isn't falling, what's going to get you in rhythm? Going to the line, getting some free throws down. Get your ball movement moving a little, or, helps the ball movement a lot more. So, just the folly of something with a young team. It's just the circumstance of us being spoiled on how well we've played over the past month and a half. But we're going to go down there in Miami. I have no doubt that we're going to turn Ish up, and we're going to get back to business on what we were doing. I love the aggressiveness out of Ben. I even love the jump shot that he took. That's fine. If they're going to give it to you, just take it, young fella. Go up there. I don't care if you miss it. But I would like for us to get to the tin more. If our shots aren't falling, put that ball on the floor and go get fouled. Definitely. And that's what Miami Heat did. Their shots weren't falling out so much. So what did they do? They they try to go to the rim, get some fouls, get the rhythm going, and then opened up their wide open shots. They were open a lot of the game. There was just no intensity. The Sixers looked lackadaisical. They just looked tired. So we're on the road now. You don't have the energy from all the fans to get you back into it. So we got to start off early, and we got to keep that up tempo going. If we get that up tempo up, or if we get that up tempo and we keep playing with that run and gun style, there's no way they're going to be able to keep up with us. And lock down Dwayne Wade, please, because he's their best threat, even though he is 35 years old. The guy's a Hall of Famer. He's a beast. He's been here before. He knows what to do. And he's their closer. You able to shut him down? Who else on that team is really going to be able to create for themselves? Nobody. Justice Winslow's really just a defensive specialist. He can't really shoot the three. Olynyk, more or less just a perimeter player. He's weak. I can't stand him anyway. But James Johnson can't really create his own shot. Tyler Johnson, he can ball. He can really get hot quick. But, again, he's mostly a perimeter player. And then Goran Dragic, he's all right. He's a guy that's really going to penetrate. So I'm not really to worry about him killing us all too much. We could put Ben on him or whoever. But in my eyes, I feel like Rocco is going to have to follow Dwayne Wade around in Game 3. To be able to lock him up, you shut him down, you shut down that offense. And then, like I said, you get Ben. They really defended Ben well last night. They pressed him the entire time, even on the inbounds. They were pulling on him or whatever. That's okay. That was physical defense. Ben's got to be able to play through that. And it's like the Sixers last night didn't seem like they've ever seen a full court press before. It's just like they didn't know what to do. And that's why I think that's the beauty of Eric Spoelstra's coaching. Because, and I have to admit this, I thought when LeBron, Wade, and Bosh were there that it was all them. And then after they left, he kept that team afloat. They didn't go down there. They weren't in the top 5, the top 10 in the draft, year in and year out. He kept them afloat, so I think he's a really great coach. So, in order to beat them, you can't do the half-court offense. Just keep it going, keep it flowing. And Bellinelli and JJ and Rocco, put that ball on the floor and get to the line. Please, if your shots ain't going, continue to shoot, but if it ain't open, put that ball on the floor and get to the line. Get your rhythm going. Come on now, and keep active hands. We should be diving out there 24/7. Now, I would hope that Markelle Fultz gets a little bit more time. I don't know if that shows Brett has no faith in him, but TJ got a little bit more minutes. Just obviously he's a seasoned vet, and or whatever it was. But I thought Markelle could have maybe sparked the second unit a little bit with his energy. He's a young kid. It's a lot to ask of him. But what I've seen in the past 3 weeks, it looks like he's just finding he can handle the moment. Definitely. And we got to get our guys going, our international players. You look at the depth of international players that we have here. I like to call them the League of Nations. You know, you got Simmons from Australia. You got Irsan from Turkey. Dario from Croatia. Illy from Turkey. I don't know if I said him. Then you got Jonah over there. We got our stash players from Australia. You've got, who else? Antish, Pashnish, whatever. Sorry, I butchered that. But we got some great international prospects still over there that we could bring over at any point in time. For next year, I think Jonah is going to be a great addition. You think Ben Simmons, but with a shot. Not to the level of where he's able to have the vision that Ben Simmons has, but he can push the up-tempo offense. He can shoot. He can defend. He's fluid. And AP, whenever he decides to come over here, Jonah, I think, will be over here next year. But that kid can move for a 7-1 Latvian. He's like a poor man's Kristaps Porzingis. He can shoot. He's really fluid with the run and gun offense. I was pretty surprised for how big he was, how fluid he is, being able to run up and down the court. And he can also defend. So, I know BC is like precedent on international players, but you think of it, they're ahead of the curve here in the States because they start playing at such a young age. 15 and 16 years old, they're playing in professional basketball leagues. And there ain't no joke. So I think that is the way of the draft. There's more and more international players coming up, and a lot of them are becoming superstars. You had Dirk Nowitzki, you had the Dream, Patrick Ewing, the Greek Freak. You've got that kid Doncic, or however you say it, coming out, and he's got a top 3 prospect. It's just they have great basketball minds, and you look at our team, you've got Frenchie also too. Korkmaz, if you want to incorporate them into the League of Nations, like I like to nickname them, and Bellinelli. They just weren't on. For us to be successful, those guys, at least JJ, Bellinelli, or Rocco, have to average 16 points. If they can do that, this offense is going to flow nicely. But if they don't and their shots are off, we're screwed. What are we going to do? You look out there, other than Ben Simmons, nobody can create their own shot. So it's all that pressure is on Ben to be able to have to do everything, create their own shots. But that's where I go back to, if your shot ain't falling, put that ball on the floor and go to the hoop. And I didn't see much of that out of any of them last night. And that's huge. Your shots ain't falling, fellas. You got to go get that strike. Go to the free throw line. But the League of Nations has got to be on in Game 3. Go down to Miami. Get it going. Ben Simmons is going to have a beast game, but please get Embiid out there. We got to have our best player, regardless of what has happened in the past. We need our best player out there. First round, this is a championship team, caliber team. Not what the Heat have, but they've been here before. Dwayne Wade has won championships. He's been in the moment. We got to be able to shut him down. Shut him down, success. Play the defense that Miami played. That's the tenacity and intensity we should have had. They had stifling defense last night. That's what I want to see out of the Sixers. When you're on the road, you're in a hostile environment, you have to get up early. You got to get a huge lead early and be able to shut them down when you're on the road. We've played way better at home, obviously, but we've struggled on the road. And we got to be able to get up and just keep it going. But that shot blocking and them second chance points that Embiid brings us is definitely massive. So, this is KG with the BBs. Don't freak out, guys. It's all good. It's all good. We still got, 5 more games left. 5 more games to play in the NBA playoffs for the first round. It's going to be all right. Let's get it done. I got faith in Brett Brown. Trust the process. I'm out.